Today I'm talking with Ashley from G.R.E.A.T Parenting, and we are going to be talking about creating boundaries in your home. Hello everyone, it's Jennifer McCollum with the Parent Coach Club, and I am here with the fabulous Ashley from G.R.E.A.T Parenting. Hello, Ashley.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. You know what? We're talking about something that I know I could use a lot of help with. We're going to talk about boundaries today. So I want to give you a short little intro into who Ashley is, but then I'm going to let her take it over, and we're going to talk about, setting boundaries with our kids. So Ashley is the founder of G.R.E.A.T Parenting. She is a parent coach and an awesome parent coach. She supports parents of children ages 1 to 10, and she helps them create firm boundaries, even when they are feeling lost and overwhelmed. Isn't that the time we need the boundaries? That's so great. So Ashley has 13 years of experience working with children and families, and becoming a mom of 2 busy little people, she's able to bring different perspectives while helping parents tackle their biggest parenting concerns and become confident parents, the kind of parents that they envisioned before they became parents, right, Ashley?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you help them
Like
do
everyone
that.
says, we were that perfect parent before we were a parent.
I know. I say that all the time.
Yeah, me too.
So Ashley, tell us, how did you get into becoming a parent coach?
Well, like you said, I've worked with families and children for 13 years, and I've just noticed that there's such a gap when it comes to um, not when you're finding tools. Like there's an endless supply of information and tools out there, but when you get home and you have to implement them yourself, and then maybe it doesn't work that well, or you're not as confident in that tool, your child's not being receptive of it, or however you want to word it, and it just becomes like defeating, and you kind of feel like a failure when it's not the tool necessarily, it's not your child necessarily, it's the tool. They don't work for everybody, and I wanted to kind of create something that helped parents figure out what worked for their family specifically. So yes, those tools are great when you go online and social media and you see those quick fixes. But I wanted to help parents create something where they can create their quick fixes, something that's more specific to their families. So that's how I came up with G.R.E.A.T Parenting. And we work through 5 steps to find out what your goals are, what your boundaries need to be, what actions to put in place specifically for your family.
Wow, that sounds amazing. Okay, so drop a comment below if you are listening, watching right now, and you would be someone who Ashley could work with kids ages 1 to 10. Tell me what you need boundaries around right now. What is the most challenging thing? I'd love to hear. So drop a comment below. Okay, so Ashley, you're going to help walk us
Yeah.
through now setting these boundaries today.
Yeah.
We're going to walk through 3 steps, and I love that you have a whole process that you work with parents through these steps. I'm going to leave a link to your website in the comments as well, so that parents can find you. They can check out these 5 steps. But today, let's tackle, I know you had 3 steps that you want to tackle with us today to just really talk about boundaries. So what would be the first step if someone is struggling to create boundaries for themselves and their family? What would they do?
Yeah. So, like you said, I do have 5 steps, but just to barrel it right down to the E, the evaluate, figuring out what your boundaries are. The biggest thing is figuring out what your feelings are. So leaning in to all of your feelings and being able to understand where they're coming from. So the first step is paying attention to your own thoughts and feelings. Exactly what it sounds like. noticing when you're at your best, amazing. Noticing when you're lit up, noticing also when you're at your worst. So what are you doing at that time of day that's making you feel that way? Paying attention to it and jotting it down, I find really helps. Post-it notes, a journal if you have one handy, just so it doesn't get all muddled up in your day of, wow, the whole day was awful, when no, maybe just a section was awful, and that's somewhere that we can focus and fix and figure out what's going on. So for example, for me, noticing that I was grumpy in the morning, super grumpy. I'm not a morning person. So I need to lean into that and accept the fact that I'm not a morning person. So that's starting my day off like that. I need to fix something or stick a boundary in there somewhere. Similar to if you're thinking about child's behavior. So if in your household, your child says the word stupid and that sends a trigger off for you, then in your household, maybe that's a boundary that needs to happen. Whereas in your neighbor's household, stupid's not such a bad word. It's figuring out what your feelings are about it, not what everybody else's are. So really leaning into your thoughts and your feelings would be the first step.
That's awesome. And then what,
Yeah.
so then we've identified that. And do you recommend that we kind of, for a certain amount of time, kind of pay attention to those and the thoughts and the
Yeah.
feelings around them when they're happening, and then writing
Yeah.
them down? So how long should we be kind of evaluating that?
Yeah. So I have a 1 week to clarity booklet, and it goes through, like I said, 1 week, and it has a section for every day that breaks it down. So it does morning, noon, and night. Just to keep beside your bed, keep it wherever you have lunch, and to really think about those times of day, just so it gets broken up. And like I said, not muddled into my whole day was awful, because sometimes that's really not the case. There are definitely positive moments in every day, right? So just trying to figure out what those are.
Yeah, and I think as parents, we probably at the end of the day look back and remember
Yeah.
all those moments that weren't great, when there could have been like a whole bunch of really great moments in between.
Yeah.
We just focus on that,
Yeah.
like, oh, shoot, I messed up, or I didn't have a boundary around that. Okay, so we're going to do that for a week. What's the second step then that you
Yeah.
recommend for us?
So identifying what the boundary was that was crossed, and what boundary you need, and the why behind it, which is the most important part. So for example, if you're thinking about the morning routine, where I'm grumpy, I'm not a morning person. So my boundary that I need to put in place is that, okay, I need 30 minutes in the morning by myself. Like, don't talk to me, nothing, by myself. So that's my boundary in the morning.
Right.
Similar to the stupid, if the stupid is the trigger for you, then we need to put a boundary in place that stupid is not a word that is said in your home. That's the boundary. You know that that's a trigger for you. And you know that because you've leaned in. And the why behind it, which, like I said, is the most important part, is that I need that quiet time in the morning, or I'm grumpy for the next 3 hours or whatever.
So, what would you recommend for parents of young kids? Like, you work with parents of young kids. So, what are your suggestions if you need that 30 minutes in the morning? Are they getting up super early to do that? Are they putting
Yeah.
in place to have that time to themselves? What do you usually recommend?
So that's the third step, actually, is
Ah,
finding the tangible that's when we work together to find tangible strategies to hold your boundary.
mm,
So I don't know if I cut out during talking about the why, but the why being so important is because once you know your why, you can make a solid decision about whether or not you're going to hold or break the boundary. So if my son gets up in the morning and he wants to be with me, I know that if I break that and I let him come in and start whining or whatever, demanding things, that I'm going to be grumpy. So I need to understand that that's the why that I'm doing it. And if I want to break that, then I have to accept the consequence kind of behind it. So that's the importance of the why. I wasn't sure if it cut out. But so the tangible strategies are specific to your family to hold those boundaries in place when you're going to hold them. So for the morning, it could look like a grow clock that turns green when they can come out of their room. Obviously, we can't force them to stay asleep, because if there was a magic for that, somebody tell me. But staying in their room until it turns green, or having a snack set aside that they can just come and grab, depending on the age. Having your spouse get up if that's possible. or waking up earlier, which not everybody loves as a choice, but sometimes that's the only choice. And if that's something that you really need in the morning, then that might be the one you have to choose.
And you have
It's
to
not
be
my choice.
no, and you have to be so quiet that you don't wake anyone
Yeah,
else up.
yeah, yeah,
That's I love getting up. Now, my kids are a lot older, but I love getting up early before anyone's up, before the sun's up, like, just that quiet, peaceful time. I love it, but when my kids were young, I was tired. I
yeah.
could not get up any earlier. In fact, I wanted to sleep longer. So, I
I
love that
know.
you have these strategies. So you work with parents on what the best strategy is for them, what fits in with
Yeah,
their family, what supports they have, and
yeah.
just figuring out what's going to work for them individually. So that's
Yeah,
wonderful.
not what society is putting pressures on them to do, like you don't need to be the mom, that influencer that you're seeing on social media. Like they don't have it all together either. So just figuring out what you need in your home.
Yeah, exactly. And they don't
No.
have it all together. It looks like they do, and it looks
Yeah.
like a lot of parents do, but no, they're all kind of struggling like all of us. So that is
Yeah.
why I see such huge value in working with a parent coach, because you can kind of cut through that. What are you thinking and feeling? And I love that that was your first tip today, like just paying attention to your thoughts and your feelings. I love the second tip where you were understanding your why and identifying your boundary and the why behind it. Like that is so good. And then those
Mhm.
actionable steps, number three, like your
Yeah.
third step was giving actionable tools. And so that's the value of working with a parent coach. And
Yeah.
now, Ashley, can you tell us about how someone would go about working with you if they feel like they are struggling with, you know, creating and holding boundaries for themselves
Yeah.
in a peaceful home? How can they work with you?
So I have a couple of options. So first, we'd start with the 15-minute discovery call and just chat about what's going on, where you could use your help, if the Great Parenting Journey, which is my 5 steps, could help. And I offer I say six coaching sessions, but it can be as many as we need. So if we're spending 5 weeks on goals, which is the first, or sorry, not 5 weeks, but 2 weeks on goals, which is the first step. Um, that's great. And we just go on from there as many as we need or as little as we need if that's what it takes. So I offer the one-to-one coaching sessions, and then I have a Great Parenting membership, which I'm really excited about because it offers parents a time to support each other and network and connect, which right now, especially with COVID in Ontario being never ending, is really, really important. And just having somebody to be your sounding board and support you and know that maybe they've been there and they can offer some wisdom or whatever, and not just from myself, but from other parents, to hear that your feelings are valid. So I'm really excited about that, and it's been really exciting. So in the membership, I have those group monthly meetups once a month, and there's laser coaching in the membership, and some discounts and resources. It's really awesome. So I'm pretty excited about that.
That is so great. And let's just highlight that you're offering 3 months for free right now. Like
Yeah,
that is
yeah.
unheard of. That's
So
unheard
your first 3 months are free, just to come in, get to know everybody, and make sure that it's the right fit for you.
of.
Yeah,
I love that, Ashley. And I would recommend that everyone, no matter what's happening in your home, if you have kids under 10, hop into this membership and just find out about what parent coaching is all about, because parent coaching is still such a new industry. And
yeah,
everyone, that the value of it is not really a known thing to the general public.
yeah,
So hop in, get to know Ashley, hop in free for 3 whole months and
yeah,
find out what parent coaching is and find out the value of surrounding yourself with people that are going through living life with kids
yeah.
under 10, because every day is not easy, and
No,
the more support we can get, the better. So
Yeah.
Ashley, if there's one tool you can leave parents with right now that would help them, just like one quick win for them to try out in their home right now, what would it be?
I would say putting your feelings number one. It's so hard, especially as a mom. I'm there, the mom guilt of just being concerned about what everybody else is going through. COVID, my son can't go to school. How's he feeling about it? All this stuff. And I think your feelings are valid, more just as important as everybody else, and to stop pushing them down and to feel them and to understand that they're there for a reason and you're allowed to have them and you're not alone. Everybody has them and we're all allowed to have them. So I think that's really important.
That's so beautiful. Thanks so much for being here, Ashley. I'm going to drop all your links below
Thank
so
you.
people can find you and pop
Awesome.
into your membership.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jen.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.